Hello and welcome to the 21st race of the 2013 Utica Home Track Series schedule here at the Osterreichring in Austria. It's all come down to this. 2 more races, 17 drivers with a chance at it. One of those drivers is on the pole, and as we look through this pack, all the rookies have an R next to their name. This is the time to make your moves, as time is running out, especially for drivers that want to work their way in, as the window is getting smaller for drivers to lock themselves into the race. The list of drivers who failed to qualify is in the qualifier series race video, and on the pole, Brian Valentine, car number 66. Now this car has been scaring a lot of drivers this season, as he's had a lot of great performances and 3 victories. So him being on the pole is not a good sign as he works his way past Michael Aurelio, car number 1, who has yet another front row start from that team. So impressive 3 weeks in that number 1 machine. But an incident in the first turn. Maria Camiso is going to get run into the back of by Bob Sadino, a championship competitor. There's Matt Evans, Nicholas Guerra. Championship competitors are all piling into this wreck. I can't believe it. Just like last year with championship competitors getting involved with stuff. But look at this. We have Camiso, Sadino, Evans. There's Guerra. I saw Eric Schock get a piece of it. Jeffrey Finguy, Dom Capps, Julian Canablez Jr., Tyler Benoit. So many drivers that had a shot at the championship involved in this turn 1 wreck, and they're falling behind. Now we take a look up further near the front to Robert Piet, who's making his debut in car number 85. The Dutch driver, known as the Flying Dutchman by many, is making his first start in the series. He attempted the Monza event but failed to qualify. He's hoping to have a long career here. He's a top driver in the NASCAR series and is one of their chief chairmen. Matt Evans, car number 4, not doing too well, 32nd at the moment. He had a great run in Monza that caught him up to the championship chase, but at the current moment things could be looking sketchy for the 4 machine. He's got to make sure he gets this car further up on track if he has any hope, or if a couple other drivers fall behind. But Matt Evans not liking the Osterreichring. 2nd year in a row, it's been bad for him. Now this is not Jamie Murphy, this is Joseph Bryant. He qualified for the race in his number 80 machine, but he wrecked his first car in primary practice and his second car in secondary practice. Murphy wasn't planning to run, but they let him borrow the car anyways. It was on their trailer, so he's racing right now. Brock McMahon, car number 44, currently having a great race in 8th position. He struggled last week at Monza, finishing 42nd in a run that if he loses this championship, that was the race that did it. But Brock McMahon trying to claw his way back up, sits in 8th position right now and having a great race at the time. We take a look at Chris Aurelio, car number 01. This is a 1 race deal for him. He's driving this 01 machine because he wants to make sure that he's locked in at the end of this year so that when he goes to Bristol, he's going to be able to make the show. Now, this car is going to run next week with Tom Allen, I believe. Thomas Allen, I believe is the name. That's the father of the Allen siblings. Chris Aurelio will be driving his 27 car. And he's going to try and make the show for that one. We'll have to see how he does. It's going to be difficult. Eric Schock is going to have to pit due to a cut tire, and there's a lot of heavy language over the radio. Eric Schock is not sure what to add to her murder list, the drivers or the tire itself. Meaghan Curley, car number 26 in 7th place, and with a driver that's on the edge of making it into championship contention or not, she's running pretty steady. The only issue she has is Brian Valentine, who's leading the race at the moment. If he falls back and Meaghan Curley stays up here, she could be in line for a championship. Incident lap 11. Ray Takeda, car number 13X, going around the final turn of the track. Engine issue. That car is going to go down. It was a new paint scheme on this number 13X, and that car is going to go sliding into the infield. That car goes out of the race. What a disappointment for Ray Takeda, who had a very successful couple of weeks. Matt Duell is back on the racetrack. It's been a while since we've seen him, and he's in 10th place at the moment. Now, Matt Duell was the winner of the Qualifier Series Championship, so that means he gets a free spot into the into the full race at Bristol next season. Nicholas Guerra, car number 6, is going to pit to fix some damage, a tire rub he got from that incident. Tyler Benoit also coming down pit road. This could really hurt their championship chances if they were drivers that are a little iffy on the whether they can make it or not category. William Duncan is currently sitting 22nd at the moment. He's not liking that guy in the race lead, Brian Valentine. Now, William Duncan was the points leader going into this, but a bad week last week and mediocre week at the moment. This could jeopardize his championship chances, so he's going to have to try and hustle if he wants to really catch up. Now, William Duncan hasn't won a race since Watkins Glen. Brian Valentine has gotten 3 wins spread out over the course of the season. So compared to that, he's looking a little lacking. He's going to have to be really consistent here today. At the current moment, it doesn't look like he's doing that. But we would go under our first bit of green flag pit stops. And you see some cars starting to dive down on this uphill pit road. It's a very difficult pit road to make pit stops on, but as you can see, a lot of drivers are going to stay out. As you see that gaggle of cars running past. But that wasn't all. We had an incident on lap 21. Dylan Young, who's clawing to stay in locked in contention. He's just near the bottom of the top 35. Mechanical issue for him. He slows down. That holds up Bob Sadano and Matt Evans. Contact! Julian Kenneblis Jr. piles into the 04 machine. There's Andrew Robinson around. And Finn Guy and Cap are going to get caught up as well. Let's go on board with Kenneblis Jr. Ooh. Not good for Kenneblis. Dylan Young would go out. They would repair the damage on Julian Kenneblis Jr., but that car would not be the same after this wreck. Connor Germain would be the driver to take the race lead for I believe the first time in his Utica Home Track Series career, but he would have to go down pit road the next lap along with Nick Capps, Joshua Michaels, and Meaghan Curley. This would give Brian Valentine his race lead back, which he has a relatively good margin over the number 1 machine of Michael Aurelio. Speaking of Michael Aurelio, having a very good run at the moment now, he will be back in his number 93 machine for the Myrtle Beach race, and he's hoping that he can get a good performance there. Now, Michael Aurelio is starting to attract some sponsorship for next season from other sources, so we'll have to see how that goes. But at the current moment, he's going to be a race leader as Brian Valentine's going to short pit to make sure he makes it to the end. It looks like Michael Aurelio is going to go down pit road the next lap, and Joshua Michaels, car number 13, is going to take the race lead. Now, we have not talked about Joshua Michaels all season long. He's been missing a lot of races, but suddenly in the past couple of weeks, RGE Motorsports is starting to become a factor. They've been making races. They really like the end of the year. The track selection is really good for them, and this particular paint scheme has been working well for Joshua Michaels. So good run by him. Instant lap 34. Judith Piet, teammate to Robert Piet, also making her debut start. Is going to get sent off track by David Yankee entering the racetrack, and Judith Piet's going to get into the wall. A lot of heavy damage to that car number 95 and a rude entrance into the Utica Home Track Series for Judith Piet. She is a top-notch race car driver, and we wish the best for her in the next races. Alex Tanker, car number 34, is going to stay out extra long on the racetrack. He's going to let everyone else pit. He's the only car that hasn't pitted at the moment, and he's going to lead the lap. He wants to make sure that he doesn't lose the top 35 position, so this extra bonus point will help for leading the lap. And this car has been having kind of an on and off season. We take a look back at car number 66. He is starting to gain on the number 34 machine and would gain even more as the 34 car would head down pit road. It also looks like Joseph Ernesto is going to pit as well. They're reporting that they have a loose wheel on the number 62P. A costly mistake for him as he was hoping to have a good day. This is his first race since Cleveland. As we mentioned, Brian Valentine is still in the race lead as Alex Tanker went to pit road. Trek Togger, car number 60, having a great race at the moment, sitting in 7th place. He's another driver that's really come alive at the end of the year, and he's driving the Austrian flag car. This is his home track, and the hometown crowd is really rooting for him, and he's having a great day along with teammate Meaghan Curley, who sits 1 spot ahead of him in 6th. Okuyama Dea failed to qualify for the event, but Trek Togger, this has really been a confidence booster going into the next season. They've said that they've had some silly season plans for 2014 ready, but they have not been explicitly announced yet. They'll probably announce them a little later in the year. We take a look at Brian Valentine, still in the race lead, but he's coming across lap traffic in the form of Julian Kenneblis Jr. Now, Brian Valentine might get held up by this, but if he can carefully navigate the number 45 machine, he should be able to get by him. So it shouldn't be too much of an issue. He also has a huge lead over 2nd place. But we also take a look at Dom Capps, who's a little further back in the pack. Had a rough day. He's got to pit again. He was starting to run low on fuel. He's been really pushing it, and the fuel just couldn't last. He would go down pit road, and this would be a very costly pit stop for him. He would go a lap down and then fall down the 38th. Final incident of the day happened on the final lap. Michael Aurelio is going to get way wide as Bob Cedillo enters the racetrack from pit row. A lot of cars starting to run out of fuel, and he's going to get into the wall, and he's going to lose a spot to Connor Germain, car number 12. So upsetting for Michael Aurelio. And also, Joshua Michaels is going to go off track as well after Judas Piet runs him off the racetrack. That's a very dangerous corner, but fortunately, Joshua Michaels was ahead enough that he wouldn't lose any positions from this. However, no one could catch up to Brian Valentine as he gets his Utica Home Track Series record 4th win of the season. This shatters Matt Evans' record, and this ties him with Matt Evans with most victories at 7. So now Brian Valentine has a lot of confidence for the championship going into the next race, Myrtle Beach, which is a track he's really good at. Let's take a look at these race results. Brian Valentine, your race winner. Connor Germain is the rookie of the race in second, followed by Michael Aurelio, Joshua Michaels with a career best, and Dustin Capps running at the top 5. Then there's Meaghan, Curley, and Trek Togger from Gas Tech Engineering Incorporated. Brock McMahon with a great run. Nick Capps and Thomas Beatty rounding out the top 10. 2 great performances by underdogs. Then Aurelio with a great job. Bain, Ciudadino, Bryan, Tanker, Guerra, Schock, Duel, Seth Cole, Zachary Robinson rounding out the top 20. William Duncan, a disappointing 21st. Russell Arcuri in 22nd. Robert Piet, his debut in 23rd. Camiso, Yankee, Benoit, Bartel, Allen, Robinson. Rose Tyler was the last car on the lead lap. Jeffrey Finguy was a lap down, along with Justin Benoit, Alex DeMarco, Bob Ciudadino, Matt Evans, 35th, abysmal for him. He really does not like the Osterreichring. Judas Piet in her debut, Joseph Anesto, Dom Capps, Cameron Diamond. Julian Campbell Jr. was 2 laps out the pace. Dylan Young and Ray Takita went out of the event. Now let's take a look at the championship going into the final race of the season. 6 drivers have a shot at it. Brian Valentine's your points leader by only a couple points over William Duncan. Matt Evans and Brock McMahon are tied but have a little ways to go. Dom Capps and Jeffrey Finguy are long shots for this championship. That's everyone who can possibly win it. Bob Ciudadino, Julian Kennedy Jr., Todd Benoit, Meaghan Curley are at your top 10. They couldn't get it done. Nicholas Guerra had a poor finish, couldn't get it done. Neither can Brandon Bain, Dustin Capps, Russell Arcuri, Maria Camiso, David Yankee, Eric Schock, Jamie Murphy, Zachary Robinson, and John Ciudadino rounding out your top 20. Colin Bartel falling all the way down to 21st in the standings. Ray Takita, 22nd, followed by Alex DeMarco. Trek Togger has really moved his way up. He's now in 24th. Neil Evans, Andreas Allen, Samantha Yankee, Andrew Robinson, Michelle Ciudadino, Seth Cole round out the top 30. Then Justin Benoit, Dylan Young, Chris Aurelio, Alex Tanker, Bob Cortez is the only car that can fall out of the top 35. Joseph Bryant is the only car that can make it in. Both are attempting Myrtle Beach, so we'll have to see which one of them will get the locked-in spot for Bristol next season. Let's take a look at the Rookie of the Year points. William Duncan's on top by 11 points over Dom Capps. Julian Kennedy Jr. is third. No one else can catch up to them mathematically, as Eric Schock, Nicholas Guerra, Dustin Capps, Ray Takita, Zachary Robinson, Alex DeMarco, and Colin Bartel round out your top 10. So now, 6 drivers. Valentine, Duncan, Evans, McMahon, Capps, Finguy. These 6 drivers are going to be going for the championship. Next race, it should be exciting. They all get a locked-in spot to the final race, which means it will be 31 drivers for the rest of the field. We'll see you there.